Have you ever had that one case where you are confident that the surgery is going great and suddenly you realize, hey, what just happened? Posterior polar cataracts may not be suspected in dense cataracts like this one. Converting to a manual small incision cataract surgery may not look elegant, but comes to our rescue here. But we needed a better way to do it. Phacoemulsification of a posterior polar cataract is challenging because the posterior capsule is fragile or even absent, leading to a higher risk of PC rupture and vitreous loss. Operating on these cataracts is a slippery slide, where the difference between making the perfect jump and falling head over heels, or as the case may be, into vitreous jelly, can be a fine line. The first case is a very soft cataract. After initially avoiding a hydrodissection, phacoemulsification was completed by aspirating the softer nuclear and epinuclear material, leaving the dense core nucleus to tackle later. Low flow irrigation and aspiration settings should be used. It is a good idea to inject viscoelastic before aspirating the last piece, as it can tamponade the existing break in the capsule. It creates a barrier behind the lens material, which is brought forward while the capsule and vitreous are pushed back. A thorough anterior vitrectomy is done to ensure complete removal of all vitreous from the anterior chamber. Aspiration of residual cortex is completed, following which a 3-piece intraocular lens is injected into the sulcus under viscoelastic and dialed into place. In this case, a 3-piece multifocal intraocular lens was placed in the sulcus with the optic captured in the anterior capsulorhexis. It provides excellent stability and creates a barrier to prevent vitreous prolapse. In this second case, lens aspiration was completed using the bimanual irrigation aspiration system. Examination showed a dense posterior polar cataract with whorl-like lenticular opacity attached to the posterior capsule and a central defect in the posterior capsule with extension of a pigmented lenticular opacity into the anterior vitreous. A primary posterior capsulorhexis was done and the tissue was sent for histopathological examination. Analysis showed posterior lens capsule with iris tissue adherent to it. The presence of iris tissue within the posterior polar cataract lends credence to the theory that they are caused by mesoblastic invasion of the lens in embryonic life or in early infancy. After completing the anterior vitrectomy, a 3-piece intraocular lens was placed in the capsular bag and dialed into place. Reference marks identifying the steep axis of astigmatism ensure optimal alignment of the toric intraocular lens prior to the start of surgery. After completion of lens aspiration, a primary posterior capsulorhexis was initiated using a bent 26-gauge cystotom and completed using microrhexis forceps. While performing manual posterior rhexis, the anterior chamber must be filled with a viscoelastic, taking care that the surface of the posterior capsule is more or less flat. An initial nick in the center of the posterior capsule is made, subsequent to which the leading edge of the rhexis is gripped and re-gripped with an aim to achieve a diameter of about 4 mm. Anterior vitrectomy was completed and the toric intraocular lens was placed into the bag and dialed into place. The intraocular lens is inserted into the bag. The leading haptic is implanted between the anterior and posterior rhexis and the trailing haptic dialed into it. The initial steps of surgery till cortical aspiration are the same as in the previous cases in this next case. Lens aspiration is completed using the bimanual irrigation aspiration system. Primary posterior capsulorhexis is completed as described earlier, and the thorough anterior vitrectomy is done. The end point of vitrectomy would be when the posterior capsule remnant falls back with a smooth margin. A single-piece toric acrylic hydrophobic intraocular lens is inserted into the eye. In this intraocular lens, the blue haptic tips aid in visualizing the correct placement of the haptics within the bag. So don't be afraid of facing posterior polar cataracts. It may look daunting at first, but once you decide to take that initial leap, it is worth the effort.